Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Thanks for being on the podcast. And we're recording. Okay, we're in 15 minutes in. You guys ready?
I feel like you shouldn't say record. Like you should just.
No, we're not. We're
someone
just,
should like stealth. Like
it already is stealth recorded. We've got all this.
We may or may not be recording right now.
I might be hot boy with this beanie.
Okay, we're on the Stash podcast. We're going live. We've got some interesting guests and some interesting content. Testes.
We'll shut that door.
Testes. Testes. How's that, baby? Lower, baby. How's that, baby? Can I get a beer?
Fuck. God damn. Danger. You have a water. Oh my God. Well.
So this is what you should, as the host, you should have like. Thank you. You should like to break the ice. You got to have some jokes. Like just bust out a new joke.
I asked my dog if he slept well last night. He said rough. Right?
Hey, that's what I'm talking.
Okay.
I stand behind that.
All right. Okay, we're gonna do this. Let's just get going. Ready?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Robertson Stash. Today, we are switching things up. If you're wondering where is, he's going to be over here in our other area, and we have a special guest host. We got Danger back on the show, being the guest host. And today, our special guest is Alex from Late Night Radio. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming on the show. I know you're a busy guy. You know, Ryan hooked us up a few months ago or a month ago, whatever it was. And ever since, we've been bumping your shit in the shop. We love it. It's great. Thanks for having us to your concert down at Cervantes a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, man.
I don't get out that very often, so that was fun. So you know what? I made you a special guest piece for the show here. I'm going to give it to you on camera.
Fuck yes.
Is that how you spell? That's how we spell it. No spelling mistakes.
Yeah,
right?
no.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
we keep it normal.
All right.
It's gas.
Is it warm still? Because it just came out of the kiln.
Yes.
Yeah, it was hot in my pocket.
Fuck yeah, thank you.
Awesome, dude. Well, thanks again for being on the show. How would you describe your music, dude? Like, what kind of genre is it? It seems to be like.
Yeah. I usually say I make electronic music for people who don't like electronic music. Like
That's perfect for me.
Yeah, like I did not grow up on electronic music. I also like if you kind of dug in my catalog, I have like this whole vinyl restoration series that's all like boom bap hip hop beats. Do everything from like sneak in a little bit of bass music kind of stuff. Do a lot of like live recording. But yeah, basically try to take like old soul funk kind of stuff that like, trick 20-year-old kids into listening to Etta James pretty much.
Yeah.
Like bring back
Find a sweet sample. And
yeah. I love the sound like the palette of the sound, the whole, just the vibe and like the musicality of the whole like old soul funk stuff. To me, that's the stuff that gives me goosebumps. So it's fun to, just flip that and trick 20-year-old kids who think they're listening to electronic music and listen to that.
What is this? I like this. It's 30 years old, son. Yeah. Yeah, because we went to the Cervantes show and you said Saturday night was a little more hardcore and then Sunday night was a little more funky.
Or Friday, Saturday.
Oh,
yeah.
Friday, Saturday. Okay.
Yeah,
Friday
was
you
a
kind of
little
spin
bit.
the sets and you have a different kind of flavor for each
Yeah,
night.
so Friday I was playing a little bit more kind of darker, bassier stuff. That was one you weren't there for. And then Saturday it was like more hip-hop-y, funky, fun. And also, did the live instrumentation with sax, guitar, trumpet.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Is that a normal thing that you do, or you have the live band come out?
I've done it in Colorado quite a bit. It depends on the situation. I made a whole album that was kind of based around that stuff called Sunday. That was like no samples and just all. We had like multiple singers. The whole thing was just, completely all original written music. And for that one, I actually did a show at Cervantes. It was probably like 5 or 6 years ago with like a 11-piece band. like
wow.
drums and everything.
Do you have like a beat machine? Like you have like a turntables, or do you have like just a drummer keeping the beat?
Oh, I had a drum. I mean, still rocking off the computer,
Yeah.
for some backing stuff. But I had a drummer. I used to tour with a drummer for a while, and yeah. So I've done everything from me by myself to me and 12 other people on stage.
When you do a solo set, how much of that is like improv and how much is planned? Like, do you kind of just feel the vibe of the crowd and kind of run in different directions, or?
No, so we're more open format DJs and stuff. You know, they kind of show up with what they have, read the room, and do their thing. I don't really play clubs like that. You know, it's more venue shows or like I'm pretty well versed in like what my audience is going to be. You know, depending on whether it's me headlining, if I'm playing with like, you know, the motet, that's going to be a very different crowd for me than if I'm playing with, you know, some crazy bass DJ or something. But
so you can kind of read the crowd before you get there.
I do a lot of homework. My set, I'm not going to lie, is a lot more preparation than like necessarily live execution. It's where like kind of the DJ's thing is the opposite. It's like less preparation and just a lot of on the fly, you know, hitting stuff. But I put a lot of time into setting up my transitions, you know, figuring out. I only play all original music, so I've never played anybody else's song on stage. So it's a whole puzzle of like getting my arc for the night, taking the stuff that can actually transition well, plays, you know, what I want to be playing. It's a whole little like puzzle that I'm usually doing, you know, a couple days before the set.
So you say you never play anyone else's song, but you sample? Do you sample?
Yeah, I
right?
sample stuff, you know. But like, and I'll play remixes and stuff like that. But it's all my
originally cut together.
Yeah, all my take on it. There's
when you're creating a new beat, like how does that process work for you? Do you hear like a sample you like or a section of a song, or what's the process when you're coming up with a new song or beat?
Kind of all over the place, man. Sometimes it's like, I mean, it can be anything from like watching some random show or movie or something and hearing something and be like, dude, I could flip that. Like, and then already having an idea and going in. It can be me just laying down some chord progressions and doing all the stuff like other than the sample, and then trying to find something that fits into that space. And it's
do you ever use like environmental sounds? Like if you're in a weird place, there's like a train going by or like some weird
I don't really do many field recordings.
Yeah.
My last vinyl restoration was pretty much narrated by Big Bird off of Sesame Street Records.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like Power Rangers or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I deep cut like samples. You're cutting from weird stuff. Like
takes us back.
Yeah,
you got some 30, 40-year-old guys listening to that. Like, why do I know that?
Because that's like one of my favorite things about like hip hop stuff is just like when you hear weird samples from songs, and then if you catch that like in the wild, it's like you're like, oh my god, like it's from this movie, it's from that thing, and you see like the source of it, and it's like it's a moment, you know.
Yeah,
so it's fun when they're really obscure and like hard to track down.
Any off the top of your head you can think of?
Sesame Street's great. Like,
Sesame Street's good one. There's a bunch of, I mean, like some of my favorite songs have been come off of like very random like 70s folk records that like just most of the record is just like, what the fuck is that okay?
You can say the F word here.
Oh,
okay,
say what the fuck you want, dude.
Fuck fuckity
fuckaroo.
Bleep it out. Aren't you live bleeping? You already dropped the ball on that.
All right, we're gonna cut. Hold on, we need to calibrate this for 1 second. We're gonna cut this out. Is this good enough? Is this
just get the laughs, dude? The laughs and the crickets when you say a joke. We'll
laughs
hit the crickets,
and then,
okay? Yeah, when I say a joke.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
And we're back.
But yeah, records that are just like the whole thing is just like, what the fuck is this? And it's like weird psychedelic wailing and shit. And then one song will be the most like deep, profound, perfect vocal with just barely like some very soft acoustic guitar behind it, which is very easy to kind of EQ out, move your way around. And then, so yeah, it's, I'm not the craziest on my like I have buddies who like my buddy like Michael Minner like digs Polish records all the time and all this crazy shit. I'm not that deep, but I.
What do you do to like set the vibe? Like are there like movies that you kind of like can zone out into and kind of like get the juices flowing, or do you have like rituals? Like if you want to just go into the studio and like make some new stuff, like do you have anything to get the juices flowing?
I have, rather than like a daily thing, I kind of have like a weekly thing. My girl's a nurse and works Monday through Friday, so there's like my days that I can be loud. And then usually like dick around Saturday, Sunday, I'll watch like tutorials, interviews, all like a bunch of like music oriented stuff. And then that kind of gets me all hyped for literally like I go to bed Sunday, waking up being like, all right, Monday I can be loud. Fuck yeah. And then like have, yeah.
So you get inspired by your peers, or you watch other?
Do you think that's like a good, like you got to kind of bottle it up, right? So you got to kind of like, there's only one day you have to like have this outlet. You can get loud and get rowdy. Like, I feel like that's kind of like a plus, right? Because if you had like, if you could just do whatever you want, whenever you want, like it's different than if you have one day to like blow it off.
I don't think that, I don't know about with you, but like it's hard to be like, creativity is going to strike this day at this time.
That's between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. for me because my kids are in school. So
yeah. And that's, I sometimes it's fucking great. Sometimes I sit there all day and I'm like, you get nothing done.
You get DJ block?
And then
is that what you call it? Writer's block?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then at like 10:30 when I was like planning on being asleep by 11, at 10:30, I'm like, all right, dope. Here's this idea. Let's run with it. And so, yeah, I mean, it's pros and cons.
A word from our sponsors. Imagine this, a world with no dirty bongs. Peace Water. Peace Water. Peace Water. The Peace Water solution formula works by encouraging more molecule-to-molecule interactions. The ingredients in Peace Water solution work to create a natural trap of smoke particulate. This bond makes the solution viscous, which in turn entraps the smoke byproducts and stops resin from forming. I'm a scientist. Look guys, it's 2023, and if you're not using Peace Water right now, then I don't know what you're doing. Find them online at peacewater.com and on Instagram at peacewater. You're from Houston originally, right? And then when did you...
Shout out Houston.
Shout out Houston. When did you come to Denver?
I first moved to Denver probably, 14 years ago. And then one of my roommates had a shitty girlfriend for a year. And I moved back to Big Bear in California where I was before Denver for another snowboard season. And then I've been out here ever since.
Wow. And you were telling us before you used to do 100 days a year.
I rode like 100 days a year for like 4 or 5 years.
Wow. Yeah. That's like pretty much a full-time job.
Yeah. Well,
seasonal.
Yeah. That's how I started doing music as well. I started doing music I was like ski bumming it up in Big Bear, working in their kitchen. And I started making beats with like, I had some homies that were messing around with some stuff. And I started making beats, and within like 3 months of that, one of my buddies was one of the filmers over there, and he offered me a free season pass to make some beats for their videos. And that's pretty much what I was working in the kitchen for. So I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Wow. And quit my job in the kitchen. And then the next year I came back and they gave me like a free season pass, like $250 a month in cash and $250 a month in food vouchers. And my rent was like $300 a month. I was like, doing the 8 people in a fucking mountain house thing.
For like snowboard videos and stuff?
So I was doing their snow and weather reports that were on. I got very screwed, actually. It was on all the major networks in LA.
Wow.
And every morning in LA when they would do the snow report for Big Bear, it was like my music for that. Did one of their commercials. They still have all my music on their like employee training videos.
No shit.
But yeah.
So how'd you get screwed?
I got $250 a month for shit that was playing on.
Okay, now they have the rights
on like
to it?
syndicated news. Oh yeah, I signed everything.
Oh,
right
you did.
over.
Okay.
But yeah, now knowing a little bit more, you could probably get more than
it seems like it was
$1,000 for a whole
blessing
season.
in disguise, though.
Yeah, it was great.
Probably seemed like a pivotal moment in your DJ career, your music making career.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I had never even imagined being on a stage or doing anything like that. My break from that was I was just like, I remember having to make up like 10 Christmas songs for them during December, and I was like, dude, fuck this. And that's after that year is when I moved to Denver specifically to like I was in between LA to go do more studio oriented stuff, or come out to Denver to try and pursue like a live music career, which you can't really do both. You got to put like your all into one or the other. And came to Denver, and fucking here we are.
Nice. 15 years later or so, you said?
Yeah, about 14 probably. Yes, 14, 15, yeah.
What's your favorite venue to play at?
I mean, it's easy to say Red Rocks because it's fucking red. You know,
yeah,
it's Red Rocks. It's
okay,
absolutely. I mean,
when did you play
history?
there?
I played Red Rocks twice. It's been a little while.
Legendary.
But yeah, man, I got to play 2 years back to back, and just seeing your name on that wall with every other legendary musician who's been in there, like in the
Hall of Fame.
Really? Not like the stairs where everybody signs.
No, but that little hallway that has every date, every
date, every artist has played there.
Your name's on there.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
So
did you play a solo show there, or did you? Yes, round of applause. That's actually a bucket. Like, I mean, that's.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely. It was
huge.
Insane. Yeah.
Who did you open up for?
The first one I think is like He Who Should Not Be Fucking Named. It was fucking Bass Nectar.
That's the dude.
That was
we
the
won't
one you
talk
were
about
talking-
this.
the-
Yeah.
okay.
No. Yeah.
And then the second one was fucking awesome. The second one I did open up for Thievery Corporation.
Oh, I love
sick.
Thievery.
Yeah, it's Thievery and Mass Code, and I got a trophy pieces of the Red Rock sitting up, and it's probably like my most cherished possession.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was you don't get trophies in music. There's not very many like quantitative. You won. You know what I mean? It's always like
was it
I
a
think
sold
that
out
was
show
all right.
award, or was it like?
I mean, yeah.
I
it was
know that they
sold
give
out
those
and
away, right? But you got something else commemorative from Red Rocks.
They just gave me it. They just like they don't usually are. I guess it's up to the staff and stuff. But one of the guys at Live Nation surprised me and made like they don't always make openers trophies, and but they maybe went up, and yeah, it's awesome.
What's one of the worst gigs you've ever done that you can remember? A funeral home or
Also Burlington.
Yeah, that's also Burlington.
Man, see, like worst is a hard one.
Yeah.
But
the one
see,
that humbled you
even
the
some of the
most.
most humbling ones, whenever I'm like, like I've dude, within the last couple of years, I've had sold out shows. I've played to 12 people. That's just like, that's the ups and downs. That's the, right back after COVID, I played like Richmond or some shit on like a Thursday, and like the venue did nothing and I think there were like 8 people there. But even on those times when there's 8 people there, like 4 of them drove like over an hour and a half to be there, and it's like, it's still, dude, yeah.
You still give it the same?
It sucks on the ego side, but I mean, yeah, dude, to know that anybody would drive multiple hours to go see my music is, to me, is crazy. And like, yeah, if somebody's gonna go out there, if that's the worst day that my job is that my ego got hurt a little bit, like it's really not that fucking bad, man. Like it is what it is.
You made those 8 people's days for sure.
Yeah, and I know as a listener, my favorite shows I've ever been to are undersold shows. Like, and then in the same, maybe I'm giving myself the benefit of the doubt, but when I'm at those kind of shows, I'm not like, dude, this person sucks. I'm like, where the fuck is everybody? So like I try to keep
Lucky
that.
me.
Yeah,
for being
so I
here.
try and keep that in mind and like not throw a fit, and it's not like I'm not going to play any different than if they were if it was packed. I mean, sometimes it's nice to get that energy back.
And a few minutes early though.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll
keep it appropriate.
Okay, here's another question. What would you tell your 18-year-old self now that you are a successful DJ doing what you love? That's kind of the meaning of life for me and some of my peers. You get to do what you love every day. Mm-hmm. It was a struggle, it seemed like, for everybody, and it doesn't look like it was handed to you. So what would you give any advice to your 18-year-old self?
Well, I didn't start making music until I was 25, so I would have said start making some fucking music. Honestly, I did everything for better or worse. I kind of like did everything that I wanted to. Like nice. I lived at I grew up in Texas, man, and I lived at a ski resort, 100 like walking distance from a chairlift for 5 years. Like that was 100% my.
In Texas, there's chairlifts.
No, well, I mean,
Oh,
No,
Big Bear?
growing up in
Okay.
Texas, and then
Okay.
I went out to California, and I just completely like
Sets you up
I was
for a-
barely getting by, at the time, but I had this thing where I was just like, you can either make a bunch of money and take dope vacations, or you can live where everybody takes their fucking vacations. And like I did the latter, while everybody else was like going to school and making like dope, actually, making something of their lives. I was doing exactly what I wanted to and having fun, and I wouldn't trade those days for anything. And like every mistake I've made is what's led me to doing what I'm doing
Love
now.
that.
So like honestly, I would just tell myself, keep doing whatever the fuck you want to do, man.
That's awesome.
One-
I'd
one
rather
way-
regret doing something than regret not doing something, and that's how I've learned my life lessons.
One of my favorite quotes that I live my life by is, I lost it.
Cut. Starting up. Wait.
Wait, oh no. It was in my head.
You're not doing a
I had
very
it.
good job of
Okay,
this. I'm
here,
gonna have this
tap
over near
in,
me.
tap in. No, okay, I got it back. It's money follows passion, right? And so I found this to be true in so many ways. Like, the more I worry about money, the less of it comes to me, and the more stressed I am. And then when I stop giving a fuck about that, and like I start kind of following my passions and really just kind of like not stressing and just engaging in like exactly what I want to do, he just catches up. That's not a sad story. No, this is like a sparkly, happy story.
We've all heard it. You love what you do.
So,
you never work a day in your life.
money-
You love what you do. Money
That's
will
not
follow.
true. If you love what the other quote is,
No.
if you love what you do, you'll learn to hate. If you
You know we got the clock rolling right now, right?
okay, if you do what you love,
You'll never work a day in your life.
you'll learn to hate it. There's a quote I'm reaching
Well, what
for
school
here.
did you go
It's something
to?
about
Who
like
told you
it's
this?
about where like if you do what you love for a living, you'll learn how to hate it, and that's also true. So there's two sides.
Well,
to
20
that.
years into the game, that's why I'm doing podcasts now. Okay. But anyways, okay. Moving on. We're going to dim his mic out.
I'm banned. I'm like never gonna be in this seat again.
So do you go see a lot of music yourself? Live?
I go to a lot of my all my friend shows, and then occasionally a show that really like sparks me. But it's almost going back to that. It's like once you see how the burgers are made, you know what I mean? It's like I can't go to a show and not like pick it apart in my head and be like, well, why'd they make that choice with production? Why? Oh, that was kind of weird. They could have done that a little better. That was fucking amazing. Well, why are they doing that? Like I look at everything so analytically. So like the most fun I do have is going to stuff that's really out of my realm.
Okay. What's one of your favorites you've been
My
to?
favorite shows I've been to in the past forever was like Portugal the Man at the Ogden. And, and that's just like they were in the best way possible. They sounded like a band just ripping in a garage. And it was just so different than my normal scene, my normal thing that like it felt fun to be like a fan.
This is recent then, right?
This was still like 6 years ago.
Okay. So there were shows you went to before you were a musician, and there were shows that you went to after, and you kind of have different experiences.
Oh yeah.
Now you kind of
It's very different.
Yeah.
And after
critique
getting
them.
spoiled with green rooms and like free alcohol, like when I go to a show and I'm like, wait, people pay $15 a drink, and like I don't have a couch to get high on right now. Like this is like it's a thing.
When you travel with like other big names and stuff, like have you had any like weird interactions, either good or bad, with like other known people? They'll never see this podcast.
No.
Yeah, no.
You can spill the tea, like
Yeah.
Nah, man.
They'll have to pay $2 a month to see it first, but then it's going to go on.
Everybody's been pretty cool. I've had like one experience that I was actually like very like angry enough to walk off the stage and look at the tour manager and been like, that was fucking bullshit. Like only one of those. The funny one was I don't know if y'all know like Flume, like one of the biggest electronic artists in the world now from Australia, and it was his first U.S. tour. And he came over and was playing in Boulder, and I was like, I was super young and green and excited, and he was playing like 5 shows in North America. And I was like, yeah, he's by himself. He's young, he's out here. He probably wants to smoke some weed and hang out and da 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 da. And like, I go to the Fox and like set all my stuff downstairs, and like I go up to sound check, and like after I look over at all my stuff just sitting on stage, and they're like, "Yeah, you're not in the green room tonight. We'll take you up here." And, da, da, da. And I was just like, "Oh, all right." I'm like, "Cool," you know. But that was still
How'd that show go?
That was still neither. It was awesome. Man.
Yeah?
It was still neither here nor there. I'm not really butthurt about it. It was just that was the first one where I was just kind of like, oh yeah, like some people are like, and mind you, dude probably had like an 18-hour flight over, had a whole crazy tour going on, and probably just wanted to sleep. I get it now, you know. But at the time, I was like, all right, I guess he doesn't want to kick it. But I did have one band that I drove all the way up to Jackson Hole. We were playing like an after party for this festival, and they fucking cut me. The band before was late getting off, you know, and this is what made me realize I care about the music more than the money, because like I spent all this time working on this hour set. I get up there and they didn't want to play after, like the venue would still be open, but they didn't want to play after like the alcohol cut. So like I drove 16 hours essentially to play for like 25 minutes, and I was pretty furious about that one. But
have you had any celebrity interactions at like these festivals and these events and being backstage?
Nah. I mean, I have homies who like everybody. What was it that year that everybody? The kid from Shameless, was it Carl? There was a year that like everybody ran into Carl at festivals. But I've never had.
He was on the circuit.
I've never had any crazy.
Is he
ones.
the kid from that chef show now?
Carl. Is he was which one's Carl?
He was the one with the dreads and like the shot of him with like the cornrows and like holding the like.
Oh, the little kid,
Yeah,
the little badass. He's like pimping or selling weed or something for a while. Like, he's selling meth. He started selling meth, right? Shameless.
I rewatched that. Man, that was good.
My closest one was like growing up watching basketball. This is actually funny. I like had the picture on my phone. I was at a bachelor party in Chicago for my friend, and Michael Minert, my homie, happened to be. He was touring with the Dead at the time, doing production stuff for him. So we were at Wrigley Field, and I got to go backstage at the Dead, and like ate a little like. I don't trip or do anything anymore, you know, and like ate a little ball of mushroom goo back there, and then I look out and it's like 50,000 whatever people, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of crazy. And then like Bill Walton's like right over there, and I'm like, hey man, can I get a picture? And there's a picture of him telling me to take off my hat, and like I start to, he's like, take off your hat, young man. And I like start to take it off, and I'm like, fuck that. And then there's like a picture of Bill Walton just scowling down at me. He's just like disappointed.
Captured that moment.
Yeah.
Is that the sorry, I don't mean to.
No, go ahead.
Is that the biggest crowd you've ever played?
Oh, I did not play. I was just definitely not playing. I was just hanging out. And then the goo started to hit. I looked over from like me to you, and I was like, that's John fucking Mayer. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go now. Like, I don't need to be back here. And I'm not a huge John Mayer fan or anything. I don't know what it hit me, but I was just looking over my shoulder and just seeing, John Mayer. I was like, I'm not supposed to be here right now. Like,
that mushroom goo is powerful.
Yeah,
a little tiny ball of it. Thank you, sir.
So in this situation, like if you've been on stage and you felt the need to dispose of urine, has there been situation? Have you peed?
I've walked out stage to pee. Like I am
like mid set.
Yeah, I've started a song. I usually give myself a little wiggle room. And I'm like, hey man, I drank like 3 Red Bulls before the set to wake up. Like I figure everybody else is peeing in the hour and a half I'm on stage probably one time. So
right.
I don't feel that guilty about it. I did accidentally. I was playing like a sold out show in Steamboat, and there's no way to the bathroom other than like through the crowd. And everybody else got the memo that I was going to pee except for one like very short girl that I didn't see until I was right on her. And I'm not gonna lie, I pretty much accidentally stiff armed her. Like I was just like kind of bobbing and weaving through the crowd, and I was just like, and like it was. I just yelled like motherfucker. It was bad.
Sounds bad.
Yeah.
Sounds bad.
Yeah, that one I still feel bad about. But no, and on that I do know of people who have straight pissed themselves on stage. That's a
and they
thing.
just go like they just because I guess no one can see from the waist down, right? Like
I guess I couldn't play that game, man.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. That's a real problem. Like that's a situation that occurs.
Sure is. Thanks for taking over for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I was gone.
I won't name names, but it was a very old school DJ that like I can never think about the same now after I heard that story.
Okay, so give us a rhyme. Like what the DJ that peed his pants on stage, like what does his name rhyme with?
Oh.
Shakira.
I probably shouldn't be doing,
It was Shakira.
I probably shouldn't be doing this. But
Yeah, let's not be dropping names on the podcast.
Okay.
Rule number
I'll stop
one,
digging
actually,
up the dirt. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I'm
All right,
all
we
out
can
of
just beep that. We
questions.
can just beep that out. Yeah.
We'll
Yeah, we'll
bleep that out.
Yeah, bleep the
Patina.
whole thing out.
Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we
Hold
didn't
on,
talk
I
about?
want to have one more question, actually.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, actually, fuck it. Never
Yeah.
mind.
All right. Yeah.
Since
Fuck
we're all
you and
smoking
fuck
here. I
you.
wanted to, because I'm actually, see, I quit smoke. You're on your quitting smoking journey right now, right?
Yeah.
And I quit smoking from my daughter's birthday to my son's birthday, and it was huge.
Okay.
And the twins are doing fine, and they're growing up great, but damn, dude. The delivery was off on that one.
Yeah.
But I did quit from my daughter's birthday to my son's birthday, which was like a month. And this guy's like, what are they, twins?
I got that now. Yeah.
We're going to have to add in the last, and we'll speed some time up, and then we'll... Anyways, how's that going for
You
you?
can blame that on me.
Okay.
It's good, man. I think I don't know.
You think you're
I
in
think
the
I'm
clear?
past the whole thing. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about cigarettes now that you're trying to quit? Like what do you miss?
He's
the
about to make a
most?
whole outfit with cigarette socks and cigarette pants. He was just telling me about it. Grassroots passed, actually.
I pitched a whole cigarette
It
collection.
was like butts were your socks. It was
It was
like,
like, yeah, I don't know, man.
this Marlboro.
You don't have to answer.
We don't have to
that.
ask
We don't
about
have to answer
missing
that.
it, dude. But like, how great is it though? You're not hot, you know. Like,
okay,
isn't
hey,
it? I want some. You got any tips for someone who is curious about doing it for the long haul?
Honestly, like if somebody told me a week before, like, hey, you should quit cigarettes, I would still be like, fuck off. Like it wasn't even a conscious effort. I ran out of cigarettes. I was down in Houston. I ran out of cigarettes one day. Like I was like, fuck it, I'll go get a pack tomorrow. I woke up that morning, was like, maybe I don't need a pack. And also it doesn't hurt that like I was at my mom's house who has had breast cancer, has been through open heart surgery, who like is nagging on me all the times about all like the heart problems in our family and shit. And so it definitely helped to have that extra like little kick in the ass. And like if I hadn't been there with that guilt around my mom for that, the first like 8 days where I was back home in Houston, I probably wouldn't have gone through with it. But,
Yeah.
And then now I'm almost like stubbornly just wanting to be able to flex the like I'm 72 days in. Like I have dreams that I smoke a cigarette and then I wake and I'm like, oh no, I fucked up. And then like I wake up and I was like, no, it's okay. It was just like a fucking dream. Like,
Wow.
And there's times where, man, I still like Cervantes was the hardest one. I have like half my career I've spent smoking cigarettes in the alley behind Cervantes. And like being back there and I was just like, all right, this feels weird.
Yeah.
And
Got
like I said,
your pineapple raspberry.
yeah, we're just.
Oh, it's out of batteries. Oh, fuck.
But
It's a great way to network too. Like
yeah,
smoking,
it's a great
yeah.
way to network. It's a great
Yeah.
way when I'm like I tour by myself all the time. So like whenever I'm in a situation where I don't sound shitty, but a conversation I don't want to be in, man. Some awkward shit going on in the green room. I go out and smoke a cigarette. Like
maybe you should get like a kazoo. Like I gotta go play my kazoo for a minute, and then you bring the kazoo out and hang out.
Do you
with
have
all
some
the
things that you
smokers.
do to like I know when I was quitting I had a kendama and I was playing kendama, but do you have any like
I just hit the vape.
just the vape? Okay. Still on the vape.
Yeah, so I mean, I've quit cigarettes. I've not quit nicotine.
Okay.
That's a whole nother road we'll go down someday, but baby steps.
And the results, what happens to you from vaping aren't even out yet. So it's kind of a mystery.
I'm
Boogers.
I used
though,
to,
right?
yeah. I used to be I'm still kind of on the train of, I don't know if it's going to be like one of those things at 3 a.m. with the infomercial being like, if you smoked, blah, 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 call 1-888 for your class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
Like, I have
You know
no
what?
idea.
Maybe here's a way to to quit smoking for people is like, you get a pack of smokes.
You light a fire, put a firecracker in one.
No. One of them it's like laced with like enough PCP that like one hit will like send you, and then
That's
you're like, but it's only one cigarette.
Firecracker?
No.
So
It's
you
only
just
one
don't know.
cigarette in the pack. You shuffle all your cigarettes up. You don't know which one it is, and then every time you smoke a cigarette, you're like, "Am I ready to be like fully tripping on PCP
It's
right
roulette.
now?" Like
Yeah.
you don't know which
Russian
one.
roulette
So
with
like
cigarettes.
that'll make you like very afraid to smoke.
Might as well
cigarettes.
just put rat poison in one.
Or you could just have a homie like kick you in the nuts at like once every pack of cigarettes. I mean, we could,
I quit one other time when I got a lung X-ray, and they found like a little like thing on my lung. But then so I quit. But then they're like, oh, it was just like a
resin.
development problem in the photo. I'm like, what? And I got back on them, but that's a true story, dude. Kyle was with me on that one.
I had a question. Is there anything that you wanted to like address? You want to talk about? You want to
Here's
tell
a
a
joy if
joke? You want to tell a story? You want to give
sir.
a shout out? Whatever. Like you get. This is like.
Thanks,
you know,
Nate.
I can drop my joke.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
Oh, shit, we're
We're
dropping
here for
jokes
jokes,
now?
baby. Let's
I
go.
mean, I only have one.
That's all it takes.
I did steal it from a homie, but I've been like, all right.
Let's hear it.
So why can't Michael Jackson play ping pong?
Oh no.
He's not allowed to touch little balls
Because he's
anymore?
dead.
Because he's dead.
Yeah, you know, just
There's a good
All
one.
right,
That's a
cool.
good one.
It, like,
You
it
guys
just-
didn't
it
like
just-
my smoking one, right?
It like
Boy,
sets
tough
up the
crowd.
It sets up the joke, and then it just like takes the punchline away. It's like there's no. It's like an anti joke,
it's as dirty as you are. Is basically the
right?
is basically
Because
the
and
joke.
he went
Yeah,
like
he's
Matt
like,
took the balls and ran with
Everyone's
them.
like, I don't know, little kids. And
Yeah.
What did Michael Jackson and
You know,
McDonald's
it's like-
have in
what-
common? They both have 13-year-old buns in there. Wait,
What do Michael Jackson? What do Michael Jackson and Walmart have in common? Little boy's pants half off.
yeah. All right, let's.
Okay,
we're gonna-
wait, hold on. But it's like kind of like your joke. To go back to your joke, it's like the anti-joke. I like the idea of an anti-joke, right? It's like, you know, there's I've seen someone told me one. They're like, okay, there's like a farmer and a priest and like
Those ones are a lot.
And then but this dude told me this joke at a bar one time. It went on for like, it was a 20-minute setup. And then he's like, and then the priest said this. And then you know what the other guy said? Like, maybe. And that was the punchline. I was there for 20
It's about
minutes.
the
Like
delivery
I was
on that
locked
one.
in with this joke. And
Hey,
like,
if you ain't giraffing, you ain't laughing.
that's it. And like, there's a great bit. It's like Norm Macdonald, and he was on Conan, and he did the same shit to Conan.
I
He was
bumped
like,
into Norm Macdonald randomly on the street, and then we convinced him to do a set at the end of Red Band's show when I was there. And that's the first time I ever met George Perez, actually, that night. But we're walking by, and I go, we're having dinner on the fucking sidewalk, me and Kyle. And I see Norm Macdonald walking up with the dude who was Elaine Bennis's boyfriend from Seinfeld. Like, I don't know his name, but I know they're like good buddies. And I'm like, hey, Norm, what's up? And he doesn't know us from the hole in the wall. And then he comes to our table and he's like, hey guys, how are you? What's going on? And then we like go to the show, see him out front with Red Band, convince him to do a set at the end of Red Band's show. He does 45 minutes of his old new Netflix special. And it was like stretched out, dude. But
In
then he
Red
like
Band?
dialed it in. What?
In
Red
Red Band.
Band. Brian Red Band?
oh no, I thought you were saying Red Man, like Wu-Tang, like
Red Band. Brian Red Band.
Red Band. Okay,
You know who that is?
no.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter. 'Cause we're putting all this out anyways.
What else? Is there anything else you want to cover? Anything you want to?
Well, what's the best spot for people to hear your music and get in touch with you and buy tickets and buy merch?
I
Instagram?
mean, yeah,
Spotify.
I'm a lot better. Like, I'm not the most active on social media. If you ever see me out, I will talk your ear off for 15 minutes. But like, I'm not the best at responding to every like Instagram comment and everything. I don't know. I feel like this shit's so consuming and damn near soul sucking.
I'll go with that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, lnrtunes.com has links to everything.
LNRtunes.com.
Yeah.
That's your website. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
music is up on.
We'll put a link
all
to that
the
on this podcast too.
Do you want to speak upon your most embarrassing moment in your whole life?
Because you did last time, basically.
Because I did.
I'm trying to even think.
Let's see who. Yeah, it's not going to be as.
I said a
status
high
as-
bar.
Well,
so-
I can't. I can't think of the most. I can't even think of that off the top of the head. So it sounds like you have a traumatic story.
You've lived a
It was
very
some trauma.
You've lived a very respectable life, start to finish.
Yeah, fuck. I don't know.
I'm just like I'm the co-host. Like you can straight ignore me. Like I'm not even here. It doesn't fucking matter.
We will. No, but you were. Yeah, you set a high bar for your story
I did.
back 6 months ago. What do you think of this weed? Pretty good. Shout out to our future sponsor, Mile High Dave.
Yeah. Shout out Dave.
Well, hi, Dave.
Okay.
Shout out, Dave. Have you ever
Where's the
been? Have
money
you ever
sign
been?
going?
Have you ever been arrested for anything that was like entertaining? Or have you got, I don't know if you got in trouble. Like, have you got in trouble for anything funny?
I got arrested when I was 18 in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. Be it after at like 5 a.m. after going to see like doing the whole day. Went to Galactic at Tipitinas, ended back up at down in the quarter at like 5 a.m. Everybody tells you not to piss, but like you have to fucking pee, man. You know, like it's just a thing. And so it's like 5 a.m. Me, my girlfriend at the time, two other homies, and like we all peed really quick, and then we tried to like kind of block for her to be able to, you know, pee in the alley. And I guess the cops are looking down. They see like 2 dudes and a chick just being weird in an alley. So, you know, there's a lot of things that could be going on there. So they come down to like investigate. I at the time, I mean, again, 5 a.m, I'm off my ass. I had my girlfriend didn't have her purse on her. I had a tampon in my pocket. And at that point in time, I thought the best thing that I could say, like, I don't know if this is a thing, whatever, but I was like, oh no, like we stopped so my girlfriend could like check her tampon. And then the cop proceeds to fucking look at the ground, and there's, I mean, it's New Orleans, dude, so this doesn't surprise me, but he's like, dude, there's a used tampon on the ground right now. He gives, mind you, I went to like a Jesuit high school, like it was all guys school, parking lot, all girls school, like right next to each other. Like my girlfriend's at the all girls school, little like, you know, we're supposed to be fucking
Separated.
good people.
Wow.
And they look down, they see that, they give her like lewd conduct, indecent exposure charge. And then me and my buddy, they gave us just like public intoxication. Throw us in the cop car. I had like a gram of hash in my pocket, which at that time, this is 20 years ago in Louisiana, you know, it's like a felony and everything. My girlfriend dug it out of my pocket while we were like in the back of the cop car somehow. Like, so there was just a gram of hash in like the crack of the car. But then,
I mean, she's like, I gotta put my tampon in real quick.
yeah. And then I fucking get over there. The drunk tank is so full that they put me in general population for like a public intoxication. I mean, I was full oranges in Orleans Parish Prison, 18 years old. I go to like straight Jesuit high school. At the time, my friend, my other friend who didn't get got up, like I had a bunch of cash in my car, and my friend came to the conclusion that I was the one that could like handle jail the best. So he bailed out my other homies with all my money.
Wait. Hold on. Why was that his conclusion? Did you ask him like what your qualifications were that he decided you were
out of the people? I completely agree. It was like
you were the baddest ass out of all the Jesuits.
It was like my little white girlfriend in a drunk tank full of like she's sitting there crying, and I walk by. It was like a movie. She puts her hands up on the glass. She's like crying, and all these hookers and shit are like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Just like fucking like. So I was like, all right, we need to get her out of here now. Apparently, my other homie, when he put on the oranges, he just started crying. He was like the smell made me cry. So like he needed to get out.
It wouldn't last an hour.
They left a pack of cigarettes on me, so I was smoking cigarettes with like pimps and crack dealers, and like I was a big hit. I had like long hair and a soul patch, and they all called me Shaggy. And like I was in there for like I think 18 or 22 hours or something, like in general population.
You're in there for 24 hours. You come out with like cornrows, like tattoos.
We're gonna miss you, Shaggy.
And you have like full tats, like prison tats. And you're like,
But yeah, dude, it was the point where I was like using the phone. This dude was messing with me, and they were like, "Leave Shaggy alone." You know, I made friends in there. I did. I got given a Vicodin, which now I'm thinking like I probably ate a Vicodin out of somebody's butt, like in prison. But whatever, man. Like it was. So I think he made the right decision on leaving me in there.
The full experience.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
You're a gangster. Dude.
That was 18-year-old Mardi Gras, man.
Damn.
So don't pee.
Is that where you got these tattoos here?
No, that's a midlife crisis.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is a good story. I've been to Mexican prison accidentally. It wasn't too long ago, actually. I was fighting for my life, though.
Yeah, that sounds probably not as enjoyable. All right.
No, I didn't have a cell phone or nothing. I threw it. It was like
you had a cushy ride through there.
Oh yeah, man.
You were the king. Like
I was hanging out, just hawking darts in prison, man.
That pack saved your ass.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. Woo! That was a good story. Well, boys, I think we did a good one today. I think this is probably the best one we've ever done. So,
yeah,
you guys.
I'm in the room, like
teamwork.
I'm sitting right across from you. I did my podcast.
We're editing
yesterday.
you out.
Like, and then you're like,
this is so much better.
What?
You're just shitting on my
You
legacy.
just did a practice podcast with some telemarketer that called you.
I did. Actually, so when I was out there and you guys were in here, a telemarketer called me and she was like, "Hey, like we got business funding for whatever." And then I was like, "Hey, great timing. Like actually, like what's going on with you today? Like, do you have time for like?" I started chatting her up, and then I was like,
he looked like he was really doing something important. He was walking back and forth.
I was pacing. I'm a big pacer.
You're a pace talker.
I'm a pace talker for sure. And like, I was just running laps, and we're talking. And I was just wasting her time to see like how much time she would give me to waste, and she just had no end to it. So I was like, "Hey, actually,
her boss thinks she's working hard."
Yeah, it looks like she's working hard.
How long did you rock?
Oh, dude. So then I was
minutes.
like, "Hey, do you want to do a podcast?" I can show you on my phone exactly how long.
Wait, 22?
Dude, so this is like my passion is like fucking with like telemarketer people. And so like so I was like, "Hey, you called it just the right time. I'm actually in a podcast studio right now. Do you want to do a podcast?" And she was like, okay, like sure. And I was like, and I knew I had this whole list of questions. Like me and Matt wrote these out before the show. And I ran her through the list and I started asking her and she's like, "Oh, sure." And I was like, "Hey, Megan, welcome to the podcast today. Like you're on air with Danger Visual." And she had my name all wrong. She was like, "Are you Donna with like Danger Verbal or something?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm Donna." And I was like, "Hey, you're on the air with Danger Verbal." And then I like ran her through questions. And I was like, we did the whole run of questions and she had answers and her bucket list and her time machine and like all of her shit. And like, we went into all of it. Like I did a whole interview just while you guys were setting up. So I had a warm up. I just did a whole warm up, like podcast hosting. It was a perfect opportunity to like kind of warm up a little bit.
You're a natural, dude.
You gotta have some charm to keep him on for 22 minutes, man.
Yeah, and I'm surprised. Like she was down. Like
you had the time, she had the time.
Like
honestly,
honestly, usually they hang up on me, and I ran out of questions. Like I ran out of shit to talk about with her. And I was like, "Okay, Donna," okay, Megan, like that was an amazing podcast. Like we gotta let you go, but like we had great conversation with you, and like it was wild.
She's like, "You should be doing my job."
She really played into it, and I got all the dirt on her whole life and her complicated relationships and her estranged children, and like. I got the whole rundown. Dude.
And where was she from?
She was from Nevada.
Nevada,
yeah. She's taking scuba diving classes.
Is it Nevada or Nevada?
Somehow
telemarketing can pay for that.
Somehow she's taking scuba diving classes.
She must have like a rich husband.
In Nevada too. Like, where are you gonna go? Like, what? Is there?
If she has a rich husband, then why is she doing telemarketing? I don't know.
For the love of the game.
The love of the game.
To talk to people like you.
Honestly, like
mostly it's like, fuck you.
You know, you ever think about like, so now like, you know,
me.
I've been doing the shit that I love for like long enough that, you know, you start to like think about stuff. And like, I've got other friends that are like successful at being creative and like having cool endeavors. And like, you know, everyone gets burned out. Everyone always wonders like what the grass is like on the other side. Right. So like I've talked to Coyle, and Coyle, like when Coyle's burned out, he's always like, "Fuck glass. I'm going back to like, I'm gonna work in a restaurant because that's like my passion. Like I just like this shit's too like bullshit."
Coyle's like, I'm gonna work in a restaurant.
Yeah, whenever Coyle gets
And does
burned
he?
out, he wants to go work in a restaurant because he like went to culinary, he worked in restaurants, he loved it, whatever. So like, you know, like I always think about like whenever I like encounter anyone that has like a weird job, I'm like, what's that about? Like, you know, like I kind of make money doing my thing, but like, what would, like it just to be a telemarketer?
Like this podcast I was listening to about this comedy
it.
writer, and she was writing a comedy skit about the garbage man. Like, what was that guy's life? Like, she
Right.
was just like hyper focused on some dude's thing. And be like,
Yeah.
What's that about? It could be interesting. What's this dude's about?
Right? And like if you think about like having a life like that, like if your money's, you don't have to worry about money, and you can just do like any job is like kind of a hobby more than a job. You don't really have to give a fuck about it because like your bills are paid, like you're covered, but like you kind of do it just to like have experiences, right? Like, you know, like what kind of stuff would you like? What would you do if like you have a successful?
I'd be a DJ, but then the crowds would be
no.
like,
Like
that's
still like a cool job. Like if you
no, but you can't just do that though.
No, but like if you as doing what you do, like if you just had to take on like a job as like a hobby, like what would you do? Would you be a garbage man? Would you like you know what I'm saying? Like what would give you what would kind of like bring something into your
Small
life?
town mailman would be pretty dope.
Right?
Like we actually have
Reading everyone's mail.
we actually have personal connections with people, and like you're seeing the same people all the time, and like or on the same like even I don't know, it's kind of the same as garbage man, just a little less messy.
And like a little more like intimate maybe. Like you kind of get to like
Yeah, but just something where you'd have like actual personal connections and get to like put a smile on somebody's face every once in a while.
yeah,
like
cut a little joke in there.
That would be a
Kinda
funny movie
show
of like
them.
the crooked local mailman where he's got like a light and he's checking how much money the grandma's giving him and taking 5 out and seeing reading some love letters possibly.
Not too cold though, just takes like half the money.
Yeah, like this one's for me. This is for little Johnny.
I think I like that idea of like taking on like a shitty job as like a passion project just to like get some new perspective on your life or something. Like just mix it up a little bit, do something different to like kind of, you know. So small town mailman, that's a great one.
That's a good one.
But,
mine was podcaster, so then I did that.
Dude,
because
these aren't like you're not getting it, dude. Like it's a podcaster, a DJ. Like these are like glamour jobs. Like if
Okay,
you had to
you
take
mean
on
like
like a
okay.
you
That
know,
or
a
like
plumber.
small time
A
diner
plumber.
chef
Maybe I would
be
like to
gas.
learn how to do plumbing a little bit.
I could see because you work with
I
a
have a-
torch. You work with a
That,
torch when
yeah.
you're a plumber. You get to kind of have these
wouldn't
like
have to call a
relationships
plumber.
with people. Okay, yeah,
that way.
Sure, that's true. Yeah,
We have a lot of plumbing problems going on right now. My pipes froze, dude. And then they de-thawed, and then they burst the fucking pipe in the wall.
Sounds fun.
It was terrible.
I feel like working at like a really shitty motel. Like just being like the dude that checks people into like a shitty motel.
I want to write all your ideas down for possible movie
yeah,
ideas,
because think
they would
about
all be
like
good movies.
if you work at like the diviest, shittiest motel ever, like I like seeing strangers and like making up backstories for them, right? So like everybody that comes into like a shitty motel, like I'm writing that fucking novel right there. Like they walk in and it's just like 3 a.m. and it's
where
like
you get all your material
you know,
from.
like
You're a
these
writer that works
characters
at a
just
motel, and you
fucking-
ask everyone their backstory, and
yeah,
that's
or
how you get your
you kind of
material.
you can vibe it out. You can like
And that's a good movie. Like there's this writer, he's got a book, and he figures out everyone who's staying in the place. That would be dope.
That would be dope.
I mean, if we're going even deeper on it, probably just because this is the most like equal playing field of America, work at like a bowling alley.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that's the one place, like bowling alleys and airports, are where like America equalizes out, like where you'll find like
All classes.
absolute, yeah, you know you'll see like complete the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor. It's the one place where they like come together.
Yeah.
And then also I feel like it's such a soap opera too, because you see so many like things play out like throughout the night of bowling. Like you see like a new couple come in,
the awkward day,
and you get to like check out judge their like first date together and like see how it's going down. Like another couple comes in, you can gauge their entire relationship and be like, they better break up in the next year because like
He's
fucking-
really trying to beat her right now.
yeah. And then like you can like
Those are the best
there's so many
people
like
watching
there's so many
spots.
like little soap operas that you get to like see play out.
The
in
happy
real
family
time.
with the dad who's like, I'm above this, and the whole rest of the family's having a great time, and he's just sitting there. He's like, why are we at the bowling alley? And then the flip side of like the family that's like not having a great time, the dad's just drunk off his ass, and like,
Yeah, like there's so much tension. Like
Yeah.
dad's like, fine, god damn it, let's go fucking bowling. You've been on my ass about shit. And they're like, you said you were gonna take us to Florida, and he's like, we're going bowling, god damn it. Like we're not going to Disney World.
I can see it now.
Yeah, there's just so many like little dramas there, you know, like it's a whole
At the
world
airports,
out
I
there.
love people watching.
Yeah, it's the best. What's your favorite place to people watch?
I mean, airports.
Airports are
And
great.
bowling alleys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one time I was leaving Vegas one time and like I was like in the airport and this dude was like walking in front of me like really hustling with a suitcase, and then all of a sudden he just kind of like slows down, he like stops and he just stands there, and then he drops his suitcase and he just starts like sobbing. He's just like and, like I'm like, that dude just lost his ass in Vegas. Like it just hit him, like
Damn.
it just hit him in the airport and he realized like how
Wow.
he fucked up there.
Probably
Like,
happens quite a bit
yeah.
in Vegas.
The
Yeah.
Vegas airport probably seems pretty sad.
Yeah.
That was it. That was a
It
moment.
was okay. That's a good one. Colorado's pretty good too.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's wrap this up because no one's going to be listening past an hour, really. I don't think. Maybe, unless we got any more things. I think we're going to wrap it up. So, thank you for coming through, man. Appreciate it. Real talent, man. That was awesome to go see that show in person. To see the whole room bouncing up and down. That was sick.
I wish they were all like that, but that was an awesome one, man.
Yeah, I had some good vibes in it. All right, so I'm Matt. We got the co-host.
I'm Danger.
Special co-host.
Alex,
We're signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.